Okay, we'll get started here. Thank you for coming today. This is a very great occasion for the Nicholas County, and we're here in Summersville. We have the mayor here with us. Glad you could come to the nice city of Summersville. They're very welcoming and glad to have you here. It's kind of a cool day, but anyway, we are glad you're here. Today we're going to be celebrating a little bit of an announcement. I won't tell you to steal any of Ryan's thunder, but it is very significant. I do know that I'm John Tuggle with the Region 4 Planning and Development Council. Our 5 counties are here in southeast West Virginia. This is where our corporate headquarters here is in Summersville. And we've worked with broadband for a number of years. We were a little bit of the pioneers on the PDC world, getting into broadband. We didn't know what we were doing, but we went around and talked to a lot of people that did know in the very beginning. One of them sitting over here grinning. But anyway, we know how important that the connectivity is, and that's why we're here today, is talk a little bit about that. The first time that I had really big exposure with this type thing was USDA was announcing the Wetzel project. I actually went up there when they announced that at that time, and that's been a number of years. I don't know if you guys have been hooking people up 4 years. Those people are actually being served now, right? So that shows that this really does work. You can check with Richard Jenkins and check on that. He was involved with that too. So that's where we are. I won't introduce anybody here. Right, most of these people are on the agenda, but there are a couple of people in the audience with the group from Hardy Telecommunications. We got Becky Kimball out there in the audience, and then again, Mayor Schaefer's here. We also thank you for coming. I don't know if there's anyone else here that's not on the agenda. If there's not, I think Chris, maybe you're not there. We want to make sure that Chris Burford with Newer Engineering is recognized. He's in the audience. They were the engineers on the project, so we want to make sure that everybody knows who you are. So from that point, I'm going to introduce the one that's really important today, that's going to tell us about why we're here. Most of you know Ryan Thorne, but some of us know him from way back. He's had to put up with us for a long time. He's been such a great partner with, we was the Senator Manchin prior to his current job. We leaned on him heavily to give us information in the public sector as far as getting funding and so forth, and working with our congressional teams, all of them. They all got along great. Ryan was in there, but then he moved into this position with USDA. He's a West Virginia University grad. Master's wise, he came from, went to Upshur County there in Buchanan, went to Wesleyan. And anyway, so he's a homeboy, and he's been tremendous with USDA. I'm going to take just a second to give him a little bit of details about what you've done in the last year. You shouldn't put that stuff on LinkedIn, or somebody else might say something about it. In 2024, USDA actually invested nearly $270 million into West Virginia. 1,000 projects, over 1,000 projects. That's pretty darn impressive. And those are infrastructure type projects that really make a difference, really make dollars move around in your economy. So you did a great job. We appreciate you there. So I'm going to let you go from here and talk about what we're here for.
Well, good morning, and thank you so much, John, for the introduction and for your many years of partnership and friendship during my time at Rural Development with Senator Manchin's office. And thank you for welcoming us here today, and for the county for opening up this facility to host us here to mark this great occasion for Nicholas County and Hampshire and Hardy counties and West Virginia, really. But as John mentioned, my name is Ryan Thorne, State Director of USDA Rural Development. And I'll say it's been an incredible honor to serve West Virginia and her people on behalf of the President and Secretary Vilsack at USDA Rural Development. This is my last official event in my role as State Director, as I'll be departing on Friday. But it's been a great almost 3 years with the agency. And at USDA Rural Development, a lot of folks don't really understand what we exactly do. They hear USDA and they think you all inspect meat or help farmers or run the SNAP program, et cetera, et cetera. Sure, our sister agencies within the Department of Agriculture do those things, but at Rural Development, we're more of the community and economic development arm of the Department of Agriculture. At Rural Development, we are advocates for, investors in, and partners to our rural communities and the people, businesses, organizations, and local governments that make up those communities. And since 2021, USDA Rural Development and our partners have invested more than $1.5 billion in the Mountain State through grants, loans, direct loans, and loan guarantees. And so a lot of folks get hung up on numbers, but when you think about that $1.5 billion and the thousands and thousands of individuals those funds have gone to serve and help, that's substantial. Whether it's home ownership or water or sewer service. But in West Virginia, we have roughly 50 employees across 10 offices, and the work we do and the positive impact that we have would not be possible without the work and dedication of our true professionals that we have at Rural Development and also our partners. But I want to introduce Carrie Decker, recognize Carrie Decker. Carrie Decker is the new community liaison for RPN for this area, and she'll probably have an expanded role across the state in the future. But Carrie's been a great addition to the team, and also Andrew Stacy. Andrew's our public information officer for Rural Development in West Virginia, who does a great job amplifying our investments and making me look better than I am. But our investments, like the ones we're announcing today, they strengthen basic infrastructure, enhance public safety and community services, and provide individuals with home ownership and repair options that they may not otherwise have, support small businesses and entrepreneurs, and expand high-speed internet access. Rural Development makes these investments in an effort to diversify our local economies, create jobs, build more resilient communities, and really spur more opportunities from the bottom up and middle out while leaving no one or no community behind. It's real simple, folks. Rural Development provides the basic and necessary resources for people and communities to not just survive, but to thrive. Your opportunities in commerce, healthcare, education, housing, and life shouldn't be dependent on the community in which you want to call home. And you'd be hard-pressed to find a community in West Virginia, from Weirton to Welch or Sistersville to Summersville, or every point in between, that isn't facing some sort of challenge, whether it's basic infrastructure like water or sewer, roads, broadband, being able to provide basic community services, the availability of a skilled workforce, capital support for small businesses, the list goes on. No community is immune from these challenges and oftentimes requires collaborative and complex solutions. But at Rural Development, we're committed to working with our counties, our economic development authorities. Jenna Belcher with New River Gorge Regional Development Authority has been a good partner over the years. And we didn't get a chance to recognize her, John. She came in a little late, but that's okay. In our regional planning and development councils, John and Region 4, they do an incredible job. But we're committed to continue to working with our federal and state partners, our local stakeholders, to address these challenges and turn them into new opportunities. And I often say this in jest, but it's not far from the truth, but you can really build a community from the ground up with the programs that we have at USDA Rural Development. So what brings us here today? Having strong and reliable infrastructure, whether it's the pipes beneath our feet, the asphalt under our tires, the fiber lines across the pole, it's vital for any community. It's literally the foundation that future community economic development is built upon. And that's why investing in America's infrastructure, investing in West Virginia's infrastructure has been such a significant priority for the Biden administration and a long-standing priority for USDA Rural Development. So on behalf of USDA Rural Development, I'm thrilled to announce we are investing nearly $30.4 million through our Reconnect program to support 2 projects in West Virginia. A $24.87 million 50-50 grant loan combo to the Nicholas County Commission, and a $5.5 million grant to Hardy Telecommunications. Having access to fast and reliable internet, much like having water and sewer service, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. It's a basic necessity in the world we live in, work in, and play in. These rural development investments will positively impact more than 7,000 residents in Nicholas, Hardy, and Hampshire counties. Having access to affordable high-speed internet means opportunities for folks within these counties, opportunities in education, opportunities in commerce, opportunities in healthcare, or the opportunity to just sit down together and stream a movie on Netflix with your family. Some of us take that for granted. The investments we make and the impacts we have would not be possible if it weren't for the continued authorization and appropriation of funding by Congress. I may be biased, but I like to think that West Virginia has had one of the best congressional delegations in the country. We were incredibly lucky in the Mountain State that both of our U.S. senators served on the Appropriations Committee, Senator Capito and Senator Manchin, with the new committee assignments. I'm not sure if there's a state which both of their members serve on the Appropriations Committee now. And additionally, with Senator Capito's new position as chair of the Environment and Public Works Committee and Congresswoman Miller's role on the Ways and Means Committee, our leaders have us well positioned for continued success in the future. So thank you, Jennifer, Todd, Jonathan. Please pass along my sincere thanks to Senator Capito and Congresswoman Miller for the continued support of USDA rural development. And in closing, let me just say that when our rural communities succeed, West Virginia succeeds. And when a state like West Virginia succeeds, our nation succeeds. And by continuing to work together, West Virginia will continue to prosper. Again, it was an honor to join with you all, to serve West Virginia on behalf of this administration. I look forward to seeing the new opportunities created in Nicholas, Hardy, and Hampshire County and beyond with these investments. And thank you all who played a hand in making today possible. But thank you so much. And with that, I will turn it over to Commissioner Chapman on behalf of the Nicholas County Commission. Commissioner?
My name is Craig Chapman with the Nicholas County Commission. We want to welcome everybody here. We want to put one great big thank you out there for coming and helping us through this. Melissa O'Brien, she has been wonderful at taking 3 old guys, well, 2.5 old guys, and by the hand and leading us around. And Amanda Smar, she's been terrific. So we just thank you, our congressional delegation. You guys really helped us and always answer the phone when we call. So our 4th commissioner, Mayor Schaefer. And but thank you all for coming. Now I'm going to turn this over, and Jenna, thank you. Our partnership with NRGRDA is great. I'm going to turn it over to the more high-tech guys. So I'm just kind of here to not look good, but I'm here. Gary Roberts, Commissioner Roberts.
All right, good morning. I want to thank everybody for coming today as we celebrate a partnership that will transform lives in Nicholas County. Together, the Nicholas County Commission, USDA, CityNet, and our partners with Region 4 Planning and Development, as well as a score of other folks, have helped us embark on an initiative that will bring high-speed internet across our unserved and underserved areas in Nicholas County. This $24 million project represents more than just infrastructure. It represents opportunity, progress, and the promise of a brighter future for all residents of Nicholas County. And perhaps the best part, this transformative project comes at no cost to the county residents. Access to high-speed internet is no longer a luxury, but a necessity. Today, we're not just celebrating the installation of cables and technology, we're celebrating opportunities it will bring. Allow me to highlight just a few of these. Education without limits. A lack of broadband resources will no longer hinder our students. High-speed internet will enable them to access online learning tools, virtual classrooms, and digital libraries, leveling the playing field and better preparing them for the future. Telehealth accessibility. Residents in even the most remote areas will be able to consult with healthcare professionals, access mental health resources, and receive critical medical advice, all from the comforts of their home. Empowering small businesses. High-speed connectivity will open doors for local entrepreneurs and small business owners, allowing them to expand their reach and market their products and compete in a global economy. Enhance convenience for everyday living. From online grocery shopping to accessing government services, high-speed internet will make the daily life more efficient and convenient for our residents, saving time and energy. And finally, a bridge to community connection. This project will close the digital divide, connecting our families and neighbors and fostering stronger communities through access to communication, entertainment, and resources. This partnership proves what we can achieve when we work together, united by a common goal. It's a bold investment into the people and the future of Nicholas County. I want to thank, once again, the USDA, CityNet, our Region 4 Planning and Development Council partners, and a slew of others for believing in a vision and making this dream a reality. To the residents of Nicholas County, this is your victory, your opportunity, and your future. Thank you. Introduce Commissioner Garrett Cole.
Well, good morning. I'm Commissioner Garrett Cole, as Commissioner Roberts mentioned. Today's a great day for Nicholas County, and I truly am excited. First off, to Ryan, I missed you for a minute there. The USDA has been an excellent partner to us. We really appreciate your leadership for the state of West Virginia, and of course, a little bit for our project here, of course, because this is a pretty big win for the county. But Ryan, thank you very much for everything you've done for us. And also, Mr. Tuggle, John Tuggle and his staff at Region 4. I see Amanda in the back there. You know, without their guidance, we probably wouldn't be here today. I'm the half the old man that Commissioner Chapman mentioned, but nonetheless, you know, we're not experts, but we appreciate the guidance and leadership we've had from them. Mayor Robert Schaefer has been a great mentor to us. He's been able to work on big projects, and today's a sign that his mentorship has paid off for the three commissioners here. So we're glad to have Mayor Schaefer with us, and also Delegate Stanley Adkins. Delegate, thank you for coming. Jenna Belcher with Region 4. I'm sorry, not Region 4. NRGRDA. Well, yeah, right. You're both top notch, but either way, and also board members Anita and Tamara. Thank you all for being here. Today's a great day for Nicholas County. This is an opportunity for the more, you know, on a federal level, all of Nicholas County is probably considered rural. But, you know, on the Nicholas County standard, we have some very extreme rural areas in our county, you know, Lower 39, Sugar Grove, Snow Hill. You know, these are places that desperately deserve a place at the table for broadband connectivity. And through this project, through the USDA, through the partnership with Melissa and CityNet, today it's a reality. And so extraordinarily, extraordinarily grateful and just glad to have all the partnerships we've had. Thank you to our congressional delegation as well. And just very excited to see this project get started finally. And also New River Engineering. Without Chris, we would have no clue how to connect the poles or anything like that too. So Chris played a very big part as well. So very grateful, very good day. And again, just thank you all for coming, and very exciting day for Nicholas County. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. I do want to back up just a second. I did fail to recognize Amanda, and she's the leader in our team as far as broadband goes, and Mr. Jenkins can tell you she's pretty much the expert in the area, and maybe even the state, in USDA type stuff. So she's a big part of what happened. And Jen, I'm glad you came in. I'm sorry I missed it. Introducing you, but Jenna Belcher and her crew with New River Gorge RDA is they're essential to our getting these things done. So I apologize, Delegate Stanley. I overshot you there, but thanks for coming in. I want to make sure you're recognized. Next, we're going to talk about internet service providers. We at Region 4, back when we first got into this stuff, we tried to reach out to providers, Frontier, Centel, whomever we could get. But the ones that really stepped up and came to our office and tried to teach us what to do, because Jim can tell you, we didn't know what we were doing, but we tried to learn. So we brought in the experts, and they actually sat in our office. Jim was there with Prodigy and one other entity, and we we learned a lot, how to move forward with these type things. And without them trying to, without that background, we couldn't get very far. I do want to tell one story about him that, I've met him over 10 years ago in Greenbank when there was a state broadband committee, when they had summits up there. And he was pretty feisty back then. But anyway, I met him back there, and then, I don't know, it was a couple years later, I was up at Snowshoe and at a conference, and I walked by a manhole, and I did a second take. I walked by this manhole, and I looked, and then I came back, I looked again, and I said, Jim, is that you? And the CEO of the company was in the manhole working because it was a weekend, and he wanted his guys to have to come up on the mountain because he was already there. So that tells you what kind of guy that Jim Martin is. I mean, and he's also a homegrown West Virginia guy, completely entrepreneur, and led the way with this stuff. And in our area, especially in our region, without CityNet, there's no real go-getter in our region that will help us promote these projects. There are other ISPs, and they're there, but whenever you start getting into federal regulations, state regulations, they go away. They run away pretty quick. But we were certainly glad to have them. Jim, if you'd come up and say a few words. They're going to be the ISP on this project, and basically we wouldn't have it at all without them. So come on up, Jim.
Thanks so much. Thanks for the introduction there, John. My name is Jim Martin. I'm the president and CEO of CityNet. Thank you to the County Commission. We're super excited about this project. As John said, I am a native of West Virginia. I actually grew up in Beverly. If you go to Beverly where the old bank is, take a left on, on Fowles Creek, last house with the power. That's kind of where I grew up, just as a young person. My parents are from out of state, from Philadelphia area. They came into West Virginia to go to Davis and Elkins College, and he never left because he loved the state so much. So I'm pretty familiar with what it means to be rural, to grow up in the really remote areas. And it's, I was fortunate that I was kind of took on the math pretty well, and ultimately went to WVU, got a computer science degree. I was involved in the internet before it was even color. It was all black and white. It was just text messaging, or just text and things online. And the web came about, and I just saw there's an opportunity here. And so straight out of college, I started my first ISP, which is who we are today. It's CityNet, and our goal is to get broadband to those that don't have it. And fortunate or unfortunate, COVID really made the world realize that there are those that have internet and those that don't. There is a significant digital divide. And being that rural person growing up, I knew what it was like to not have some of the benefits of being in a more populated area. And sorry, I got a cough. So anyhow, with the I'm sorry. What I saw with the expansion of broadband is this really will elevate folks. And so with COVID, it made people realize, and so what does the government do? They throw money at it. So there's sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I think in this regard, I think throwing money at broadband was a good thing. And so CityNet, HardyNet, some of the other providers in the state, we've been very fortunate to receive some of those monies. And what those monies generally are is to get to people that do not have broadband. And so we've received a number of projects throughout the state. And unfortunately, Nicholas County wasn't really on the radar for us. We hadn't really received any funds there. And so we were actually going to have to build our network through the area. Even though we would love to stop and provide services in Nicholas County, those grants and those programs that we're involved in require us to, we've got to get to those that we got funding for. And so it was really frustrating, to see this wonderful opportunity in Nicholas County. We basically going to have to build a cable through and not really be able to provide services in the area for probably 4 or 5 years. That's not by choice. It's just the limit of finances and manpower and all those things. And when the county approached us to be a partner, we really saw it as a huge opportunity. And we're so appreciative of it because now it plugs right into the center of where we wanted to be in West Virginia. This is, when you look at our map and where we're going, Nicholas County is kind of right in the heart. And this is going to be a great location for us to build out of. And the fact that we can get started now and not have to wait for some of the monies that might still be coming. If you hear about the BEAD program, if the state is successful in getting that, every citizen in West Virginia should have broadband within the next 4 to 5, maybe 6 years. But the benefit of working with this program is we can get started right now. And so we're really, really excited about it. One thing, our system we're going to deploy is fiber. We're going to bring fiber to every single household that's been identified in the program. Generally we just offer it as 1 gig. 1,000 meg up, 1,000 meg down, generally around $75 a month. The technology we deploy will allow us to go up to 10 gig at some point. There's no household in the world that would need 10 gig. It just isn't. But the good thing is with the technology we have, we can still grow and accommodate and offer that. And the other great thing is we're a West Virginia company. Our headquarters is in Bridgeport. We have an office in Morgantown. We have an office in Charleston. But our call center, which is one thing I'd really take pride in, is every provider has problems. You're going to have issues. You're going to have challenges. All customers want to know is what's going on, and they want to talk to somebody who can speak English and tell them what's happening. And you know what? And that's what we have. Our call center is in my office. I watch it. We track everything. If you call our 800 number on a general day, not with a massive outage, but if you just call in, if we don't answer that phone and call within 3 rings, we have a problem. And the person you're going to talk to is a real person that understands West Virginia. They know where you're at, and they generally are going to be able to service your problem. They are trained to get things corrected. Now, if there's a true outage, if your fiber got broke, things like that, we'll be able to identify it and we can get crews out. But that's one thing that we're really proud of is the customer service side. Our product speaks for itself as far as the quality and the speed that are there. And again, we're just really happy to be here and really look forward to working with the commission, the USDA, Region 4, the mayor, everybody. We're going to get ready and you'll start seeing some trucks down here in the near future. I can reflect that. I think over in Webster County, John, when we did a job down there, John Leslie with Leslie Equipment, he and I speak once in a while, and he's like, my gosh, how many trucks do you guys have? Because when we rolled into Webster, that's what we did, and I think you'll see the same thing here in Nicholas County once we get this project kicked off. So again, thanks for having us here. Thanks for allowing us to be your partner, and we're really looking forward to bringing some broadband to the area. So thank you.
Thank you, Jim. I do want to mention a couple people on your team because they really, we couldn't do it without them in our business because we need the financials and that kind of stuff to sell these things. And a fellow named Todd DeLucas, that is their accountant. And poor Todd, Jim will say, okay, we can do that. And you can see Todd just cringe, but that's okay. He always comes through. He's helped us tremendously, Amanda can tell you. Also, Eric Price is their engineer. He's helped tremendously, and Melissa was mentioned earlier, but she's on the front lines with communication with us all the time. So thank you. He's got a tremendous team. Next up, we do have another ISP, and we haven't worked with them directly before, and I just met this young man.
Thank you for young.
But I did meet HardyNet people a number of years ago up in Bridgeport at the, I think we were at the Robert Mollahan Research Center at a meeting up there on broadband, and I met them, and we, again, every time we get together with somebody, we try to learn, so we would talk to people like you guys, like Becky's out there. That gave us the opportunity to learn how public-private works a little bit. You guys are sort of the pioneers with that from way back because you had your own system and could work with the government. And anyway, Derek is coming up here today to tell us a little bit about Hardy Telecommunications, and if you would, and one other thing is, yet again, be careful what you put on LinkedIn, but parler français is what
I had no idea that was on there.
he says he speaks French, so we'll see.
Bonjour is about all I remember from those days. But thank you. Yeah, my name is Derek Barr. I am an Assistant General Manager for Hardy Telecommunications. We provide internet through HardyNet LLC back in our territory. I do want to send regards from Scott Sherman, who is our General Manager and CEO. He was a little under the weather today, so I found out yesterday that I was going to be speaking, but so I just have a few remarks. But HardyNet, Hardy Telecommunications, we are a nonprofit cooperative located in Hardy, and we serve Hardy and parts of Grant, Hampshire, and Pendleton counties. We have more than 5,000 broadband subscribers. The vast majority of those are served through fiber to the home. And we've been around since 1953. So I think one thing we have in common with Jim and CityNet, and quite frankly, I think a lot of people who are in the know see this, it's often the little guys that step up to take care of their customers and to get internet out to people who don't have it. Quite frankly, the reason we were formed back in the 50s is because the bigger companies didn't want to bother to bring telephone service to our area. So the citizens got together and did it themselves, and then we've been doing it ever since. We've worked very closely with Rural Development Programs, USDA, so I certainly thank Ryan and Richard as the field rep, very closely with him. We've taken advantage of all kinds of different programs. Our original Fiber to the Home network was built through BIP more than a decade ago. We just completed a Community Connect project, and now we're taking advantage of Reconnect. This project will serve as a significant part of Hampshire, which is where a lot of our growth is now, and help us pick up a little pockets in Hardy that we haven't been able to reach yet. So I do mainly just have a list of people I want to thank. I mentioned Ryan, USDA, and Richard. I also want to thank Senator Capito has been a tremendous asset for us and working with us very closely through every program, quite frankly. I was just going back and forth with her office yesterday on some stuff. Representative Miller, we are not technically in her district, but we meet with her office in D.C. Multiple times, and so she's been a very big supporter as well. I'd also just like to thank the Hardy Telecommunications Board of Directors and our employees. Becky is our fiber projects manager, so the applications for these programs are pretty extensive. She's the one that keeps us on track and makes sure that this is what's needed by this deadline and rounds up everybody else to make sure we stay on track with it. I would also just like to say that with this project, a lot of the things Jim said also apply to us as well. I'm also a West Virginia native, born in Moorfield. I still live in Moorfield. I live on a hill now because of the 1985 flood, for those of you who remember that. I'm at this part of the neighborhood. My mom is on this part of the neighborhood. So that's the kind of community that we have. We also pride ourselves on customer service. So a lot of people, unfortunately, they haven't had the advantage of having fiber internet before. So as you're building out to people and helping them learn how to use new devices and different things like that, customer service is a key aspect of what we do. We're the same way as Jim. If you call us, you're going to get a live person. We respond to stuff. I mean, some providers, you'll call them and they'll say, we'll be there in a week to 10 days. That is just outrageous for us. So, our goal with this is not only to get the fiber there, but to service it and maintain it and help the customers once we're there. And so that's what we plan to do with this. So I appreciate you having us here. Of course, we did travel a little bit to get here today. I can tell you around Elkins, the roads are not good. So yeah, if you don't have to go back that way, don't. But just want to appreciate you inviting us to here today as well. And we look forward to continuing to connect West Virginians to modern, affordable, reliable broadband. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Next up is one of the key players for USDA in broadband world. He basically is their expert and has been for a long time. His position is the, I have to get that right, the GFR is the
General Field Rep.
General Field Rep, which is not a very sexy name for that, I'll tell you. General Field Rep, because he really is much more important than just a general field rep. I mean, he's the engineering expert, plus he helps a lot with the other aspects of it, with legal, accounting. He has to do it all. So, Richard, we do appreciate you, and come on up and tell us.
I'll be quick. You know, I say a lot of things. I go to all these things and I try to say something inspirational and, this morning I woke up and my nose and face, I was under my blankets and I was cold. And I started thinking, man, I remember back when I was a kid when the fire went out. I grew up down in Montgomery in the coal fields, went to West Virginia Tech. West Virginia Institute of Technology, not WVU Tech. I refused a replacement diploma, so my diploma still says West Virginia Institute of Technology, and it will forever. And anyway, Siri woke me up. Well, I was already awake, but my alarm went off. And then I remembered, oh yeah, broadband. I'm not back home. I'm not back at my parents' house where we had to get up and make sure we had coal and wood on the fire to stay warm. And then I equated that with broadband, and I thought, when I was a kid, we heard of central heating. We heard of all the everything, but we didn't have it. So think about people today. They've heard of broadband, but they don't have it. So what does that mean? That means you don't have to get up and throw wood on the fire every morning, or whatever that equates to in today's world. So, and something else that it's going to mean a lot, because now that I have kids and they've started to move off everywhere else, and we're looking for incentives to either bring them back or coax them back home. And we'll probably never do that because my kids most of them are out in the world doing greater, better things than I ever dreamed of doing. But that's not to say that dream can't be realized for some people here in West Virginia, because I know that there's a out-migration, and I hope that broadband will help that. Something keeps drawing me back to West Virginia. And just recently, I think I'm meant to be here to help bring broadband, and I'm not trying to polish my own apple, but I'm trying to kind of practice in that a little bit, because I did apply for a supervisory position, and that would have meant that I would have to leave behind my accounts here in West Virginia, and I didn't get it. And I asked why, because the person that did get it, I mentored him. I taught him to do his job. So I'm going, what, so kind of, just tanked my self-confidence a little bit. But I got over it, and I asked, why didn't I get the job? And the people that were interviewing me said, you didn't show, you're too humble. You have to be more out there. So I'm using this as a gateway to being more out there. So I'm gonna shine my own apple here for a little while. What we do is not just, very rarely do I get up and well, I'll take that back. There's phases, but usually I'm just, talking about everything that broadband means and what people can do, and with broadband. But I just want to give a little glimpse of what it takes to do what we do. It's not just, here's the check, go build. How many contracts do you have with us? It's meetings every week. Every week I'm meeting with all of my people. We're talking about everything that's going on, soup to nuts with their project, so that we can keep it moving. It's not just, I'm from the government, I'm here to help. I think that I do a better job than that. I want to think that I do, that I don't, because I think about everything that's going on with all my projects, and I try to be there to answer their questions. And I know somebody will say, well, Richard, why didn't you answer the phone? And I got, well, probably because I had, in the spate of that hour, I had 5 or 6 other calls. So I missed you. So we are very busy. I myself not only do Reconnect, but we also do the Community Connect grant. Hardy Telecom has a grant with us. I have, over the 4 states that I cover, I have probably 12 Community Connect grants that are active. We also have the Distance Learning Telemedicine Grant Program, which there's more grants in that program than I can count. and they are so, I'll just say it, they're aggravating because they're so complicated, and everybody wants to make a change as soon as they get the grant. They want to do some kind of scope change or budget change, and it's time consuming. So, you know, it's a fun time to be a government employee right now. You know, and I hope that we can continue our mission and continue to do what I've been assigned to do and mandated to do. And like I said, I just feel like there's something keeping me in West Virginia, and I think it's, you know, it's paying back and making sure I can do my part. And if I leave any legacy with every strand of fiber that I've helped, I haven't done it all. No, I'm not saying I've did it all, but you know, I was involved in a lot, and I hope that that's some kind of legacy that I can be remembered for. So anyway, thank you all for letting me talk, and it was therapeutic. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. And we can attest that Richard is available. He does call you back, you know, and it is a problem for him because he's continually being beat on by somebody to get back to him and answer a question. So, but we can attest that you're there. Next up, we got is very important. Couple of very important people, and the first one on the list is been talked about a good bit today. Senator Capito, and she's been involved with this for a long time. She set up Capito Connect, and from a lot of years ago, met up in Upshur County again, Buchanan. With her, she met with the PDCs to help us get going. So, Todd, if you'll come up, Todd Gunner's her main man here in West Virginia, and he's always there, and he always helps us with all kinds of stuff. Even
I'm just glad you didn't look at my LinkedIn. I don't have one. We got to go to Facebook or Twitter.
Anyway, thank you, Todd.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it. It's always an honor to represent Senator Capito, especially here in Nicholas County. Before I begin, I'll just say with my good friend Ryan Thorne here, I think I probably go back further than most people with Ryan Thorne. I won't tell you how I first met Ryan, but I can tell you that he's been a friend ever since, and whatever he does next, he'll do a great job at it. So congratulations, Ryan, on your work. I have greetings from United States Senator Shelley Moore Capito. It is my honor as West Virginia's senior United States Senator, I really like to say that, to celebrate today's USDA Rural Development Reconnect funding announcement. Although I'm unable to join you in person, I'm excited that today's announcement will provide high-speed internet to thousands of households and hundreds of businesses in Nicholas, Hardy, and Hampshire counties. When I joined the U.S. Senate in 2015, it's crazy to believe that's been 10 years now, it became clear that our state had fallen behind the rest of the nation in access to broadband connectivity. I decided then to make connecting West Virginia my top priority. And I've always said that this effort will require an all-hands-on-deck approach with collaboration from federal, state, and local governments, as well as our planning and economic development agencies and internet service providers, which is why I'm so proud of these projects today. Connectivity is crucial to our state's success, students' education, and our quality of life. I would like to thank State Director Ryan Thorne and his entire team at USDA Rural Development for their work, not only on this project, but throughout our state. Additionally, I want to recognize my friend John Tuggle and his team at Region 4 for their leadership and expertise. And finally, I'm proud to voice my appreciation of Jim Martin at CityNet and Derek Barr at Hardy Telecommunications for the tremendous roles their companies have played in overcoming the many challenges of expanding internet service in our beloved Mountain State. Congratulations to everyone involved in making today's announcement a reality. You make me proud to serve the great state of West Virginia and United States Senate. Sincerely, Shelley Moore Capito. Thank you all so much. Congratulations.
Thanks, Todd. And Senator Capito really has been on the forefront of this stuff from way back. Next, we have our other congressional rep here today, and we appreciate him coming. But Congresswoman Miller is always a friend, always approachable, and she comes to see us every now and then. And anyway, she's always involved in just about everything we do. So, Mr. John Hall, thanks for coming.
Thanks. Thanks for having me. My name is Jonathan Hall, and I'm with Congresswoman Carol Miller's office. I'm a Southern West Virginia guy myself. I grew up in Raleigh County, and infrastructure is very important, and she's excited about that. Raleigh County is learning right now how infrastructure is important, as we're in a big water crisis. Most people don't know that a big part of the county is out of water right now. So appreciate everything that everybody does with infrastructure. But I do have greetings from the Congresswoman, and I'll read them on her behalf. Dear friends, I was honored by your invitation to attend the USDA Rural Development Reconnect funding announcement here in beautiful Summersville, West Virginia. I regret I cannot attend in person, but I send my best wishes. As your representative in the United States Congress for Southern West Virginia, it is my honor and privilege to congratulate the Nicholas County Commission, CityNet, and the citizens of this area on being awarded this Rural Development Reconnect Grant Loan Combo. I know that under the direction of my friends at the Nicholas County Commission and CityNet, this will be a huge win for all the area. I would also like to congratulate Hardy Telecommunications on their Reconnect Investment Grant. Even though Hardy County is not part of my district, it does come close, as I represent Pendleton County now, and I know this will be a great benefit to the citizens of that area. During my time in Washington, infrastructure has become and has been one of my main priorities, and I look forward to continue that, not only with work with water and sewer, but also high-speed internet to the citizens of West Virginia. Thanks to Ryan Thorne and John Tuggle and everyone involved in this making this announcement possible. As the representative for West Virginia's 1st District, I am honored to be your voice in Congress. Sincerely, Carol D. Miller, Member of Congress.
Thank you, John. Okay, that concludes our session today, and we do appreciate all of you coming. It's been a great day for Nicholas County. I do want to say, again, a special thanks to USDA. I mean, my goodness, tremendous program. CityNet for being a partner. Our congressional teams can't do without you. I like to mention my team, Region 4. Also the engineer back there, New River Engineering. All those are directly involved with this project, but in particular, I want to recognize the commission, because they're putting their name on the line here. They're sticking their neck out, trusting Region 4 to tell them this is available, and we do try to keep them well informed, but anyway, they're the ones that are on the hot seat when it comes to this stuff, and we really appreciate you guys stepping up and taking this on. So that's it for today. We do want some people to stick around and get your pictures.